We got a crazy exciting one for you guys today. We're gonna go over the 2023 Lift Foils wing boards. Get ready. Thank you guys so much for tuning back. We appreciate you, we love you. We got such an awesome one today. 2023 Lift Foils wing boards, and we have the one and only pro rider, total rock star, Evan Netsch. So thank you for being here today.
Stoked to be here. Thanks for bringing me on while I'm in town.
I love it. We spent Thanksgiving together. Surround yourself with good people. So I called him up. We had a great time. My wife was working. Let's get to it. Okay, so the new wing boards from Lift Foils. Sizes: 4.4 by 44, 4.6 by 55 liter, my personal favorite, 4.10 by 75 liter, 5.2 by 105 liter. Let's dive into these. Evan, what are your thoughts on these and what stands out?
So I think, the line, they were very careful about picking just kind of the perfect volumes, in my opinion, for different riding styles, abilities, and everything, right? So I ride the 4.4 44 liter, which is the smallest wing board that Lift makes. For me, it's a sinker. I think for pretty much anybody, except for a really small kid, it's a sinker. Maybe for higher wind, or where you're really just looking to use the smallest wing board possible, but still have just enough volume and ability to get yourself to the surface without needing to be ridiculously powered, right? So that 4.4 is that dedicated sinker size, high performance. You obviously need a little more wind. I love it. It's literally the perfect size for me.
And what's cool about the 4.4, just to throw this in there, I actually use the 4.4 44 for prone foiling because I'm not very good at prone foiling and I'm not really fast at getting up, but that extra liter in a really small board absolutely is perfect for me, and I can cross over and wing with it, so it's money. My go-to is a 4.6 by 55 liter because I'm 148 pounds. I literally know 148 pounds because yesterday I was at Publix and I couldn't believe that I was under 150 pounds. I was like, holy geez, like, I guess you have a kid and you just lose all your muscle.
Most people grow, but you do the opposite.
I think I'm like super stressed out or something. No, but for 150 pounds, the reason I really like the 4.6 by 55 liters, to me, we were filming the other day and I was riding in probably around 10 miles per hour or around there or less with maybe a hair bit of puffs in there. And that's all I need. I can be on that 55 liter and I can do every trick. I can ride in light winds. Now saying that, I can also just go to the 410 and I can stand there at 150 pounds on 75 liters and I wouldn't have to be on my knees trying to get up to wing foil, so on and so forth. And then of course you have the 5.2 at 105 that just gives you that ability. I would say truthfully that board's gonna be great for a beginner, but it's gonna be more performance for a beginner. So it's gonna be your one board that can do it all. And you can be on that 5.2, 105 for forever. You wouldn't have
I think
to
you're going to
switch.
grow. I think you're going to grow with that board a bit.
Exactly.
For sure. And I think what's also interesting, you weigh less than I do. You're on the 4.6, a little bigger. I'm on a little smaller board. If I lived in Florida or while I'm down here, I'm going to probably be begging you to borrow your 4.6 because I'm maybe in a little higher wind conditions quite a lot. So I want to size myself down as much as possible. Where for me, that 55 liters, I can't really sink it. But
in between.
I'm kind of in between, which for me is a little bit harder to get up on, but you gain a lot of efficiency. So if you kind of do a squat start or knee start or something, I could certainly get going in a lot lighter wind, and I still have a really nice small board. So I think, and then for someone bigger than myself, or someone that's more like 200 pounds, that 4.6 55 all of a sudden is a great sinker size for that, the equivalent of kind of that 4.4 for myself. So I think those two sizes are interesting, how they kind of are dual purpose in maybe even how I would use it, or just kind of fit everyone out there that kind of needs multiple volumes for that sinker size. That sinker size you really kind of need to dial in.
Really well said, yeah.
And then that 75 liter is really kind of, that money size for most people where it just barely has enough volume to be stable. And you can just kind of easily start on your knees, get the wing, get going. My dad rode a 78 liter board for a long time. Now he's kind of sized down actually to a 58, and he'd probably be good on that 55. But I really see a lot of people right in between 70 and 80 liters, and that's, 1 liter of volume will float 1 kilogram of weight. So if you, I think I'm about 76 kilograms is what I come out to be. So in theory, 76 liters is that perfect neutral buoyancy. The reality is you don't need quite as many liters as your weight, just because Salt water is, you know, pretty buoyant. The wing has a little bit of lift there, and there's some other factors that play in. But that 75-liter mark seems to really be that right in that critical zone for so many people sizing down for their first board. You get your 100-ish liter board, and you're right to a 75, then you're on that 75 for a really long time, maybe forever.
Yeah.
Because in light wind, man, it's hard to beat that size.
That's awesome points. Let's dive into one thing I should say here, and this goes to all general boards in general, but I wanted to say it because I think it's a really good point. You know, when you have length in a nose of a board, so like let's just say a 4.0 and then you jump to like a 5.0 or 6.0, length helps no matter what when you're wing foiling to help the nose climb up. So when you're talking sinker boards, length can almost help you with a little bit of volume because it wants to climb to the surface. When the wing pulls, the nose will climb. The shorter the board sometimes will be a struggle to climb because it wants to almost dive underwater. So just something for you to think about as you progress. One thing we really need to talk about, these boards are absolutely bomb-proof. These boards, literally, we work for Lyft, I work for Lyft. Like, there's no warranties on these boards. They're absolutely bomber, and that is the straight up truth. They are bomber.
Yep.
They're a little bit heavier, but man, you're gonna have them for years, and they are 100% bomber. They have handles. The 4.4 does not have a handle just because it's so small, you can carry it. The tracks are really long tracks, so you can really, you know, position your foils, other people's foils, whatever you wanna do on these boards. And then very crucial is a lot of inserts for mobility. You can put your inserts on this side of the board, you can duck them, you can really change your inserts whether you're towing or winging or prone or you name it. A lot of adjustability there. And I would say in the industry, their deck pads are crazy grippy to almost to the point where I would say it's nice to have a top on if you're prone in these because you could get ripped up because they're so grippy, which is a good thing.
I can actually go all right. I don't rash them
I
easily.
get
actually,
rashed up.
I'm all right with them. Like, they're grippy. They're that nice corduroy material that kind of.
I don't get the water time as Evan.
I kind of survive. I love them. They're great.
I'm a dad bod now.
But here's what's interesting, I think, about the deck pads, which is really cool, is, you know, the deck of the board's very flat, right? But there's actually a little bit of concave built into the deck pads itself. So the EVA foam on the rail of the deck pad is just a little bit thicker in the center. So it gives that board just a little bit of that concave feel. It really helps you feel locked in. And it also makes it a little more padded out under your heel, which is something I really like. So those pads are pretty awesome. They changed them this year from last year. They're now a one-piece pad. In the past, they're a two-piece. So there's a little bit of a gap in between that front and back pad, which sometimes if you're sitting on your board or whatever, it can be a little slippery. So they filled in that gap, which I think is a nice improvement for this year.
And all the boards come with board bags.
They come with board bags, which you literally almost, in a way, yes, it's nice to have it. But like you're saying, they're so durable, you almost don't need it. Like, I travel quite a lot with mine. I don't bring the board bag because just, you know, a little bit added weight in my bag. I'm trying to hit that, you know, 50 pounds for the airline or whatever. And that board's always like the top board in my board bag, taking the heat from like the airline guys hucking the bag around or whatever. And literally the thing, like, I've never repaired a ding on my board, which is pretty crazy, I think.
They're bomber.
Yeah.
Go to liftfoils.com, take a look at these boards. Absolutely home runs. Really good performance boards, lots of versatility. On that note, we always end every video with a positive note. And today I want to hammer, happiness is a choice of yourself. So a lot of people, you know, work's this, my life is this person's bringing me down. I'm always answering these bad calls. And make it a choice. And what I mean by a choice is you get to choose today to get up whether I'm happy, upset, dragging on something, hanging on something in my mind. Evan at my house, I could be upset that he's like taking up my space. But
mess
really,
everywhere, all my stuff everywhere in the house.
But really it's a choice. And man, eliminate the things that give you that negativity. And so like I'm kicking Evan out of the house like after this, I'm just kidding. But eliminate negativity, and I mean that. Like if somebody is bringing you down, that's not a friend. And I'm not saying, you know, everybody has up and downs and you're there to support them, but I'm just saying like if there's something that's really negative in your life and it's wearing on you, that's a choice. Just maybe morph over here, go on a different direction and choose the positivity over there. That's my thoughts today.
I think everyone knows Damien as the king of happiness. Everyone out there, myself included, can take a page out of your book. It's so true. You're so stoked. I'm sure you've got bad days. I'm sure
100%.
you have tough times, but you're always so positive. I think that rubs off on other people, and that brings more happiness right back to yourself. And so I think it's something I need to work on. I think it's something that literally everybody can get better at. So
and anybody's message that does that and creates a little bit of stoke, you're gonna attract it, and you're gonna spread more of it. And
Like
then
someone can't be mean to you. Like
Well,
you're
you
so
can't.
happy.
Well,
You're
you
so
can't.
happy. Like
Well,
you're
you
so
can't.
happy.
You know.
Who can be mean to Damien? So then naturally more happiness surrounds you. You're better off. And I think that goes for everyone. If you project happiness, you're going to bring it in. It's better for everyone else. It's better for yourself. It's better for the world.
And it's a choice. It truly is a choice. And I have bad days. Just know that. And that's a very good point is you may see the dude who's the greatest person, greatest athlete, greatest businessman, greatest, most beautiful person. They go through struggles. I may be happy. I know I can be very negative, depression, whatever. So I know this. So my fix is positivity. So work on yourself. It's super important. So we love you guys. Sorry that went along a while. Take a look at these boards. Make sure to try them out. They're absolutely awesome. I really appreciate having my dear friend Evan, who I used to watch as a tiny little kid. He didn't talk much, by the way. This is many, many years ago. He used to fly kite and ride a cone that you put like, you know, cars out there in the roads. He used to fly a trainer kite and drag himself across a field with a cone. He would ride it. That was his board. And then he wouldn't talk much. And here he is, professional rider, incredible human, sharing the stoke in our world today. So Evan, thank you so much for being such an amazing ambassador for water sports, an incredible human. And then as long as you leave in 2 hours, that'd be great.
Thanks for having me. I'm out of here. Hit the road. I'm gone.
We love you guys. Like and subscribe. See you next time.